哇，那顽皮口这个画面又升级了。如果这是真的话，那比神海4的时候要强很多。但鉴于之前他骗过我们，还是不说了。这肯定是新角色。总的来说，他这个美貌还是没有给什么关键性的东西。毕竟之前的话，等于只公布了一个 title 嘛，然后现在是公布了实际的过场动画，但也有可能是假的，到时候看到又是另外一个东西。美国末日 NPC 不本来就挺多的嘛，而且他们再往后的话，肯定要跟一些人类的聚落有所联系啊，而且之前就是有一些联系，很正常。唯一的快乐就是世界。
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sony's conference from Paris Games Week. I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm joined by Marty Sleva and Alana Pierce.
Yes.
And it's time to break down everything that Sony shared with us today. But first of all, Sony was promising a big show this week. They promised the second half of E3. They said E3 was only the first half. Did they deliver today? Did they?
Kind of literally, yeah.
Literally, and then it was like, here's more of the gameplay of these things that we showed.
Yeah.
So quite
along
literally,
with the same dates. Also with, obviously, a ton of really cool reveals, a focus on indies, a focus on VR.
Spent an hour on some small.
Spelunky
2.
Yeah.
Andrew and I are really excited about that. First, the Cliff Notes version. If somehow you found to our post show without watching the Sony conference today, Sony did announce one big new exclusive from, it's called Ghost of Tsushima. What's the developer? From Sucker Punch.
Yeah, infamous and Sly Cooper.
Yeah, exactly. And it's some sort of a ninja game.
Yeah, it seems like an open world samurai game set in the 1200s with the Mongol Empire.
We didn't see a lot of gameplay there, so we don't really know what the game is. Based on it being Sucker Punch, everyone seems to be totally for it.
So
don't know exactly what it is.
That was the one big new exclusive, and then they gave us updates on a bunch of exclusives that we already knew about, and then there are certain games, some notable games that were totally absent from the show, like Days Gone, Death Stranding, Final Fantasy VII. But let's start with what Sony ended on, big game, The Last of Us Part 2. We got a brand new trailer.
So I have a feeling that if you were watching at home, you were
这一个
like
视频，一个做茶叶蛋的视频，看看啊。
煮熟捞出，冲啊！按摩一下，把鸡蛋倒回去，加盐、老抽、生抽、桂皮、香叶、八角我没有，茶叶，炖半个小时，再泡半天，搞定啦！一块一块做。
口音好怪啊。
I like this trailer didn't really change anything for me. It was brutal. It didn't show me the characters that I wanted to see. It showed just the clickers at the very end there. But for the most part, I feel kind of indifferent. I'm glad to see Last of Us. I'm very glad we saw it, but didn't really change my mind on it.
Yeah, we didn't get any details. Like I don't think this is a 2018 game. I still think it's a 2019 game. That being said, like I really do feel like this was a pretty effective tone piece.
怎么感觉现在索尼要开发布会的话，就是这一套东西。 然后也都是这种感觉够不着的感觉。能不能换一个风格
but she was wearing a hood. And so the whole time we were watching it, we were like, oh, is this a new Tomb Raider game? Is this a new IP?
The start of this, it looked like a girl and a man dragging a body, and I was like, surely that's Ellie and Joel, but it wasn't. But you're right, this is a really good tone piece.
Not Ellie.
Definitely not Ellie.
Spoilers.
But also looks like an interesting extension of the universe and how chaotic it has gotten in this post-apocalyptic world because it's further through now, right? So it's like just complete anarchy, apparently.
Yeah, and especially like when we last left Ellie. Granted, it wasn't as far along timeline-wise was with Left Behind, and so we saw that like event where she fell in love and
she
then
was
lost.
Still lovely back then.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really interested to see, like obviously without spoiling it, there's that the ending of Last of Us 2 like ends on a very interesting note, and so how Ellie has sort of grown as a woman after that, and if she learned that secret. And
well, yeah, from both of the things that we've seen of The Last of Us Part 2, I'm guessing that the world has hardened her a lot, and we're going to see a very different version of Ellie, and I think that is what this trailer is trying to convey as well. Is just like the world's gotten very, very dark, and now I want to know how Ellie and Joel are going.
还等12月9号吧。
And if Joel's still alive.
4季，好像4季4完要有。PS Plus 的会员，好像说 PS Plus 的会员是先行下载，不是的话好像也可以下。
She ends with saying something like, "I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill them all." Yeah, but I feel like this doesn't give me that much more information. This trailer doesn't give me that much more information than that. I don't know where the characters that I care about are invested in.
今天那个一开始的那个
definitely gives us an idea that it's going to be messed up.
日本那个游戏好像也没有说发售日。
Yeah, that was. I mean, it focused more on like the.
那倒是一个新的 IP.
Than I mean, you've got the clickers at the end, but like.
I also think kind of the politics of the world, like the Firefly thing, seems to be a little more influenced here.
Yeah.
Well, as is the case with all of the big upcoming exclusives for PS4, we did not get a release date for The Last of Us Part 2.
We didn't even get a year, so
we didn't get a release window.
So it's not next year.
Yeah.
I think that's the 2019 game.
You know what? There's enough 2018 games, which will.
There are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that new big announcement, Ghosts of Tsushima.
Yeah. Looked really cool. I mean, we were saying in the pre-show, we were like, hey, one of the big new reveals we want is Sucker Punch. Like, Sucker Punch is a developer that, between the Sly series and then the 3, I guess 4 if you count some of the spin-off Infamous games, like they've been so synonymous with PlayStation. And seeing this, like, it was a really cool trailer. We didn't know what it was because we just opened up and we were like, oh, this is cool, pretty looking samurai.
I wouldn't have even guessed that it was Sucker Punch, honestly. I had absolutely no idea what it was. It does look gorgeous. Don't know if this is in-engine.
Sure. Yeah.
Probably not, but it does look really pretty, and it seems like a very different place to anywhere that their other games have been.
That's the really interesting thing. It's like it definitely. I think they said in the press release it is open world, so it joins stuff like Horizon, and I mean even Uncharted: The Lost Legacy has a bit of that. But Sony's really going heavily into open world. But this is a setting that like we don't get.
为什么没有死亡搁浅
？Like we get the Dynasty Warrior games.
That's what I was gonna say. Like at first I was like, oh, is this Dynasty Warriors?
Yeah, and then we had.
死亡搁浅是不是已经1年没有消息了？
There's monsters and everything, but yeah, I mean this looks really cool. This looks like a time period that movies and novels and everything have explored thoroughly.
装甲核心也没有。
Yeah, this could deliver what people have been wanting from the Assassin's Creed series for a long time.
That's weird. They've been asking Samurai for a long time.
That is really funny. Is that everyone's always like, where should Assassin's Creed go? It's like feudal Japan.
今年是不是还有个 PS 叉呀？索尼是不是还有发布会
？I don't know what this plays like, so I can't say if I'm excited for it or not. I just have to see gameplay to know. But it's a pretty trailer.
They do a good horse assassination. Well, they assassinate the man.
想要一些香香的饼，而不是怪怪的饼。
I wonder if they're going to go for realism, or if there's going to be a fantasy element to it.
That definitely showcased realism, especially in the press release. They mentioned the Mongol invasion.
今天这些饼啊，都闻不到味儿，很平淡，很普通。
Sly Cooper has raccoons that steal things, which is, I guess, real.
Made 3 very different kinds of games. When you pile those together, like that's a really interesting studio.
Yeah.
The history is kind of fascinating.
看饼啊，还是要
Yeah, seems really cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that new Spider-Man trailer. Very different piece.
从零开始，慢慢做大。
The gameplay demo we got last summer.
这种饼看起来才有意思。每次都甩一样的饼出来。
Starting point for a game is that it's basically after he's learned to be Spider-Man, so we don't have that same learning curve.
饼就是要越烙越香。
Being an adult or becoming an adult at the same time as playing through this game. So. As someone who's read a bunch of Spider-Man comics, I'm really interested in this side of it as well.
你看世界这个饼，不仅越烙越香，还能吃。
but also that Peter's been Spider-Man for a while, so we're not going to see, unless it's like a flashback, him get bit or him have to learn his powers. Like, he knows his powers, and so
his uncle dying again.
Yeah,
We've
exactly.
seen it enough.
And so it is like he's a
你看世界第一个预告片的时候，
Spider-Man, and it seems like Miles Morales is
觉
going
得
to play the role
怪
of that
怪，
surrogate.
是不是要做
I
网
have
游
these？ powers. How do I do anything
Yeah.
with them?
Yeah, I'm happy.
然后你
with,
就只
the
想
timing
睡到
for this.
1月
And also, this
26
is really cool. Like, we haven't seen a lot of the big action set pieces. Obviously, we saw the helicopter thing in the demo was cool, but we haven't seen like this kind of stuff and how it impacts the world. And I'm now wondering how dynamic that is. Like, if there's an explosion, does it stay that way?
Sure, yeah. If New York's
does it
getting
mean for
wrecked,
environment?
does it stay wrecked?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also cool. I liked these
so
indoor
cool.
environments are so cool. This is assumedly Grand Central Station, and then we had earlier him walking through his gymnasium, and it just looks cool and looks different. And knowing, again, talking about Sucker Punch, like Insomniac's pedigree is just as high with Sunset Overdrive and with the Ratchet and Clank series. So like, I totally trust them.
I'm so excited for this game.
I wonder if we spend any time playing as Mary Jane.
Could do.
That could be interesting.
It looks like the camera was behind her shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like she was sort of like an Oracle character, which totally
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think it's negative, man. Yeah.
I don't
感
see
觉
why
它
we
这
couldn't
个
place multiple characters
在
in
实
this.
际
It
玩
seems
过程
like
中跟
part of the
环境场景应该也没有什么太多的
schools
互
makes me
动
want, like, bully elements. Like,
，Yeah.
can I just go to a weird English class?
在
for a
大
minute?
街上
Like,
不
I
知道
love
能
that
做
kind
些
of
什么
stuff.
事情。 之
But
前
again,
13演
we
谁
were
只
sort of joking about
在
the dates. The date we
城里
got
面
for this
飞
was just 2018.
2018.
Yep, no date yet. So that means
Given
like
看它到了
they
大
didn't
街
even say
上
early
跟
dates.
路
Given that
人
there's no word
啊
before it,
勾
I
肩
imagine
搭
this will
背，
be, in
有没有
theory,
什么
Sony's
互
big fall
动？
game. That being said, like I
记
rewatched
得
our
之前超凡蜘蛛侠好像可以拍照吧？
coverage of the 2015 Paris Games Week,
Yeah.
and a lot of those games were dated for 2015 and came out in 2016, or Horizon was dated 2016 and came out 2017.
Totally
So,
possible that could happen.
Yeah,
with Spider-Man.
everything taken with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I think the last couple of years have shown Sony doesn't usually put out a big exclusive in the fall. Right? They
haven't needed to,
They
yeah.
lean on their third-party games in the
Yeah,
fall.
yeah.
Bring out their big exclusive
就
early.
之前超凡蜘蛛侠走在街上，路人会跟你吹逼。印象中好像是这样。
So I actually, yeah, I can't see this coming out in October.
Well, especially for Sony, Sony's had those strong marketing deals, which I think we'll probably talk about later, with stuff like Destiny and Call of Duty and Battlefront, to where it's almost like, well, why try to go head-to-head with that when Sony's obviously gaining with those? So just play it cool and then release your Horizons and Last of Us in the first half of the year.
Spider-Man coming in like August or something would work really well as well, but I think, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being 2019.
Yeah.
We'll see. We still have no idea.
All right, some of you may see an ad, but stick with us. We're still breaking down everything that Sony shared with us this morning from Paris Games Week. What about God of War? We did get another quick, very, very short look at God of War.
It was very quick. I like this because it was gameplay focused, and it was like a single scene seemingly, whereas the thing we saw at E3 this year was really chopped up in sort of a tonal piece about where Kratos and his son are going to be going throughout the journey.
Yeah, we have seen a bit of gameplay. I mean,
that
that first
initial
trailer
reveal
was really just like about their relationship, then we saw gameplay. This is sort of more of that, and
I like the beasts. I like the beastie.
I'm just so sold on this game.
Yeah.
I love God of War anyway. I've always loved the combat style has been what's really drawn me in, and then this has that. It looks pretty, and it seems to focus on relationships as well. Like, I am so sold.
And also, this still does a thing. Corey, I interviewed Corey, the creative director, at E3 last year and E3 this year, and he still says the game is one continuous shot. The camera never cuts. And so, think about what we saw at E3 last year, where you're walking through the snowy fields. It just doesn't cut up until this point, and up until seemingly the end of the game. He said it's just one continuous take.
Trying to think of other games.
战神这个画面特效有点屌啊，惊了，乱标志。
Sometimes there would be like, you wouldn't realize you were back in gameplay because there was no
yeah.
cut, but I really liked that.
Yeah.
So if they're doing that as well and doing it the whole game, I think that's really, this just looks so good to me.
Totally, and it seems like that, like you're seeing a lot more variety.
这次发布会觉得哪几个游戏有印象？
And then different enemy types.
As long as I can just get a big sword and rack up combos, I'll be happy. But it is interesting that you don't actually see like any kind of HUD. There's nothing on screen. There isn't any kind of damage.
其他东西感觉看起来跟之前看到的上一次放出来的饼差不多。
You do that like Dead Space did a really good job of that. Like your HUD was on your suit, so it was like diegetic inside the environment. But yeah, this one for the release date we just got.
没有什么质的区别。
It was early 2018,
so,
which could mean anywhere from January to June.
Yeah, I think early would mean. I mean, early and spring to me are ostensibly the same thing. So I would just say, in theory, that's before June 21st, which is.
明晚能不能正常一点？
Like maybe we
就
do
看
have
这
a
一
PSX
波了。
conference that gives us these release dates.
这
Maybe
傻
that's
逼
what
游
they're
戏
holding for that. Like we don't
太他
know.
妈
But
遗憾了，操！
based on the fact that they didn't give us a release date today, I think it's probably later. It's probably May.
Yeah.
We did get to see a long gameplay demo of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
God, that looks so. It started off in that forest, and that forest looks so
It looks
pretty.
beautiful.
Like, I feel like it's easy to be like, oh, this is just a HD remastered, but like go back and look at the original Shadow of the Colossus on PS2,
Much more than that.
which was one of those games that pushed the PS2 so far, but it could only do so much.
Yeah.
It was on aging hardware, like we were already
looks
going to the
gorgeous.
next gen. Like this looks like a game that could have been built ground up for PS4.
I mean, it effectively was.
I mean, seemingly, like you look at this, like the draw distance is so much further than it was in the original game. The frame rate looks incredible, and just again, we said it in the pre-show, but like this is going to make battling these things legitimately terrifying, just given their scope and their sort of ability to just completely decimate you.
You'll get a bigger sense of scale with it looking better as well. And yeah, I totally agree. It's going to be a lot scarier, but it just looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I was already sold on this, and now I just want to play it just to stare at it.
Yeah, I mean, my last big question is how does it play? Like, does it play the same or does it play different? Hopefully, we'll be able to report back soon.
That is a good question. I kind of assumed that it would play the same.
命运2它本来就是
otherwise it's going to be really jarring.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, you would think so.
它
The
这
Red
个
Theater
季
was
票这两个内容应该都做
interesting.
好
It is such a crucial mechanic. I mean,
它
almost
只
like
是
in,
不放
Breath of
而
the
已
Wild, where like your grip is that's the main mechanic in the
Yeah.
game. So.
它如果放的话，其
This is
实
another game, they gave us
应该会
no
更
update,
遗
no
憾
release
吧，
date.
因为它的基础系统做得很屎。
Probably. Maybe even later.
This year, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's this year, or next
Next
year,
year.
but man, 2019, that seems like the future.
It's also
现在
because
只
there's
是
so many games
没有
coming out
内
next
容
year that
然
if
后
we have to wait a little longer for this.
内容很屎。
That's my thing is like Sony's exclusives.
你对未
are
来
so cool,
还会有
I'm
点
sort of fine
期
with
望
whatever order they're
还会有
doing.
改变的
Yeah,
余
just
地，
don't make me have
知
to
道
play through
吗？
them all
Yeah,
at once.
just don't do like another don't do another
October
27th,
27th.
all with 3 Sony exclusives. Like, why did you do this?
Well, a game that Sony's being a little bit more specific with its release date is
它要是
Detroit Become
一
Human.
口气把年一的东西全放出来，
Yeah, so
然后
that's
这样一个水平，
Yeah, it's a little more
that's March
specific.
那多
21st
遗
to
憾。
June 21st. If we're
你
going
会
by
感
what
叹这个游
actual
戏
seasons
哇
are, I guess.
这么多，
Yeah, this
牛
was an
逼的
interesting
美术
demo.
设
I
计
really
音
like the
乐
fact that,
结果却
you know,
搭了
we
这么
saw
屎的
much
内
more
容
sort of
虽然
like
现在也是这样的感觉，
suburban calm,
但至少
a
don't know
home,
about
a home
calm,
life. I
but-
mean, it very quickly became that this is an awful abusive
也就只有
father.
这
So
么
we have
点。
these 3 characters that we know that we play as here. She's in. I've played this game, and she's in like a totally different place to where I played as a detective. So it looks like there's 3 very, very, very different stories going on in different environments, and this looks really unsettling. The detective demo that I played is your kind of like crime scene investigating, and it's in like a very, very modern, high-rise building that looks like it's in the far future.
Yeah.
Whereas this looks a little more grounded.
And whereas the demo they showed this year at E3, you play a character who's pretty much inciting a riot in like an outdoor shopping center in the snow. And so my gut says this is early-ish on in the game in her story, in Kara's story, because this seems like when she's still sort of like a domestic servant.
Yeah.
And it was really sad because she's talking to the little girl like, hey, we used to be friends before my memory was wiped. Like, I hope we could do that again.
Yeah, almost a similar thing happened with in the detective version. Like, I'm just very interested in the lore of this, where it discusses like the androids being friends with a human and then something going wrong.
Sure.
And, like, they're all very fragile, and I guess that's the point of tension. I'm interested to see how they pace out these 3 different stories. And the thing with this game so far, of everything we know, is that it's dark. It's
Yeah.
going to make us all feel awful. And
Yeah.
this especially is just like very dark. And I
Yeah.
hope that they do a really good job of helping you empathize
And-
and care about the characters rather than just having to be like, this is a little girl, care about
Sure.
her.
One interesting thing is this, I'm
really
relatively sure
yeah.
this terrible dad was a character or an actor.
这个就是暴雨工作室做的，
Not even go props. Heavenly or
人家就专门做这种东西的。
Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was like they're using some of the same actors, which is funny because their
Oh, I didn't
mocap
notice
is so
that.
in depth that I'm like, oh, that guy totally looks familiar.
Huh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And the mocap is great. The game looks gorgeous. And it looks just as good as this when you play it. But I'm actually not that sold on the gameplay just because the camera's very close to the character that you play as when you're playing it. And it just makes navigating environments kind of janky.
Yeah.
But maybe like I've played an early
同一个
demo.
引擎还
Yeah,
行，
that was
肯定
a
升
demo
级
from
了呀，这都多少年了？
Yeah, the cinematics all look
不升
great.
级引擎做什么
the
游
gameplay I'm
戏？
not 100% sold on, but I do think this is going to have a really interesting story.
Well, and the whole like this whole trailer is about choice. About
暴
all the
雨
things that
都
could happen, about
暴雨有
they can die,
10
they can
年
die,
了
you can
吗？
make it out, no one dies.
好像差一点
that,
吧。
that concept so many times that I'm so hesitant towards it now. Like with Telltale selling us, like your outcomes will be totally different. Like, are we going to have different endings for this game or not?
Look, you can fight Todd. That's all I wanna
Spoilers!
do.
Don't look at it. Look at all
The
these different
only-
things.
The only thing I've wanted in video game history is to fight a man named Todd, and finally
There
we
you
can
go.
do
It's
it.
finally
Yeah.
happened.
Very excited.
Todd.
I don't think Todd should be raising a child. He doesn't
Todd does not seem like the kind of man who
he
should have a
doesn't seem
child.
suited
I
for
think he
fatherhood.
probably agrees.
I feel like civil
Problem.
services should step in and pull her away from
Yeah.
Todd.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's one of the options is call child services. Now, Horizon Zero Dawn, Frozen Wilds, apparently is still called Frozen Wilds.
Yes.
And apparently is still coming on November 7th.
So
they didn't put the date on screen.
No. And so I was immediately like, there's no way this is
Okay.
coming out this year. And then the tweet said, only 10 days left. I'm
Yeah.
like, why don't you put that at the end of the trailer?
You'd think you'd want to let people know when they can play.
Very
You
weird.
can buy
choice.
this game in a week.
没劲。这是什么？哈哈哈，这多好看！来看一下今天的每日任务。哦，不对，我错过了，我应该在0点之前玩这个游戏的。操，输了。这是什么？这是什么？袋鼠吗？我觉得这个袋鼠挺萌的。这有什么事？这是我经常看的那只塔。
مي خنمس
عرفت؟ انت شيخ شديد واخد يا
Leon! Clear the way.
لحكد بحنير السساف حين ردت ويت
还看吗？看这个，还是看这个？
Missing weapons. It's all anyone will talk about. But no one has found them by yet. Not until today. Because you will. You take whatever you need. The circle of life in the desert.
我就把这个埃及的每日任务做一下，拿个装备。
Get out of the way. Is this mental? Heresias.
怎么没有声音啊？国内不能养吧？你要是能自己搞到的话，应该是能养。看今天的金装是什么？金了，今天给的是紫装，输了，操！遗憾。我要关掉这个游戏，太歇了。还要看吗？想看的话可以去这个频道，这里面很多塔，我一般就在这个频道里看。 和海狸鼠有什么区别？神他妈海狸，怎么还有老鼠的？这个应该都看过，抱着一只猪的。饥荒怎么样干掉广告啊？一开 SS 翻墙就会有广告。好，这个好像不是，这个好像是要抱着猪的那个。你觉得这像猫吗？猫有这么听话吗？直播看小麦还行，那多无聊。这抱着猫的好像是另外一个，不是刚刚那个塔，好像是合集的那种吧。这个很爆，这个很无聊的，都是那种推特上或者怎样那种很短的片段做的合集，这个没意思。 还有什么？这个我看过吗？这个好像我没看过。当然每个都看过，专业的好吗？声音好吵还行，应该就是这样的。这就是今天微博上放的图。看完这个歇了，再见。急叫叫，知道吗？歇了，再见。 精致睡眠的时间到了。再见。